Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back. So as you can see, I'm doing a very special video on close quarters combat hipfire bloom. Now it doesn't matter whether you are a noob or an NRG pro, stay until the end of this video is going to help you. You can learn a lot of stuff instinctively, especially when it comes to hipfire and close quarters, but seeing this level of research and the actual accurate bloom for your weapons is just going to help you. It's that seeing is believing it kind of factor. Now, essentially, when you hip fire, you have these white markers on the screen that instinctively let you know where the bloom is going to go. But a lot of the weapons in Apex Legends don't actually have accurate hip fire markers, and that is what I'm going to be showing you. All the ones I could find that aren't accurate and showing you the real hip fire marker bloom for them. Now, I've taken into account a lot of different factors that come into hip fire. Yes, you've got movement, you've got distance, you've got recoil control, you've got allowing the gun to reset between each bullet fire, you've got rapid fire, auto fire, there's so many different factors. I have taken a lot of them into account, and we're mainly focusing on rapid fire without movement because I tested it and movement only increases the hip fire by a small amount. So yeah, let's get straight on with this. Now, I started off with the Wingman because this actually gives us some great examples for the other weapons. Now, first of all, I'm only going to show this once in the video, and that is first shot accuracy. I'm showing this specifically with the Wingman because people just absolutely love the Wingman. Like, those pro players hip fire at close quarters are ridiculous, but when you actually get those first shots, it is incredibly accurate. But for all the rest of the weapons in this video, we're going to be focusing on rapid fire because you're not waiting in between bullets when you're in close quarters combat, are you? You're rapid firing. And yeah, with the Wingman, I'm showing you right here, rapid fire, it doesn't go like all the way to the outside or the inside of the white actual hip fire markers. Now, when it comes to the Wingman, it actually has a specific ability. When you're crouched, the first shot has next to 100% accuracy. The only variable is your general drift of the actual gun that you can't really avoid. Now, moving on with all the rest of the rapid fire weapons and no scoping the longbow. This is actually a lot more accurate than you think. You see people doing longbow no scopes quite a lot, and that's because the real bloom on this is nowhere near the bloom it's showing you with those hip markers. I tested this with walking movement, and to be honest, I think those hip markers are just a general guide for the max possible bloom when you're doing like the most movement or the most things that affect bloom. Like there, you could see that the actual bloom, even when I was moving, was really small compared to the actual hip fire. Now, the flatline, the anvil has like, it's a bit more accurate than the bloom that the flatline shows you, although the hip fire markers on the flatline and the triple take are kind of very weird and don't really give you any real representation. The Peacekeeper is especially like misrepresented because you see a square hipfire marker and you think, okay, maybe the pellets are going to land within that square, but it doesn't. As you can see here, every single shot is 100% accurate, even with hipfire. Right now, I'm not using any recoil control, and every single shot is still landing on the exact same spot. And this is very similar with all shotguns. The Mozambique is kind of a little bit different. At rapid fire, it has kind of a drift and it goes down a little bit, and you see these like vertical lines. Now, the Eva 8 is very similar to the Peacekeeper. This one surprised me because I thought it had a lot of kick. I thought I needed to have a lot of recoil control. But this was with zero recoil control, and every single shot, the gun just automatically resets itself before the next shot. So you don't need any recoil control with the Eva 8 except to focus on where they are. Now, the Mastiff, again, you've got these two end lines that I thought like the end shots would go to, but I have never once actually seen the pellets reach those end shots, even when aiming down the sights. Right here, it has its own little weird marker aim sight, like a glowing effect, and again, those two end markers, you don't hit them at all. At the very most, it's just slightly either end of the actual iron sights. Now, with the R301 here, you can see I'm going absolutely nuts with this, and it is slightly affected by the recoil obviously, but even with my aim not being perfect, it's all still within a smaller area than the actual hipfire markers. The G7 Scout with the double tap is especially beautiful. This thing in hipfire at close range is actually insanely deadly if you get accurate with it. All of the shots are very accurate in the center area. The Havoc, I also noticed this with hipfire. I noticed the hip markers were a lot bigger than where most of the bullets would go, and as you can see here, even with bad recoil control, I'm not the best player, I'm still getting all of those bullets within a smaller area. Now Kraber, moving on, this is the final one. This is a great weapon if you want to try those trick shots, right? But no scopes are so RNG, but it doesn't actually go all the way to the hip markers. And maybe you're thinking, well, that's because you're at close range, you have to be at distance. But even when I did this at distance, it still gave the same range of like the real bloom in the middle. So this is a lot more accurate for hip fire than it lets on with the hip markers. And this is like the whole point of this video. Test out the weapons yourself, because individual weapons aren't accurate to the hipfire markers. As you can see here, I'm going to display them all on screen, all the different ones I've covered, and just let me know if you found any yourself, because there are certain weapons that are very accurate, like the Spitfires and the SMGs. They are very accurate to the bloom. I'm not sure if this is something they might update, or to be honest, the hipfire markers are just a general guide, as I said earlier, for the max possible bloom when you're doing the most possible effect on the bloom. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video and it helps you with your close quarters hipfire like combat. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.